Welcome to this guide on Cricket Captain, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the guide that we're going to go through. What this is going to cover, it's going to cover how to develop a team, how to develop batsmen and bowlers, how to identify youth and bring them up to be superstars, and just other little bits and pieces here and there. But let's get straight into it, shall we? We will go to a new game. We'll start with an English career, for example. Pick a random side, Leicestershire. Go there. Normal difficulty. Easy and very easy are modes where you quite dominate. You get inflated stats for those of you that like stats that way. And it's recommended for beginners. Play for 1 to 3 seasons if you're learning how to play this game or playing it for the first time. Normal is where the challenge is at, so that's how I play. Because I played a lot of Cricket Captain, and that's what I like as a challenge. Now, you can customise your match type experience. If you're only keen on 1 day and 20 overs, that's fine. More a first class, but whatever. Test captaincy, I would rather earn the test captaincy. The reason why is you get to develop your team from the get-go. You won't get offered the captaincy after 1 season unless you're really exceptional. It allows you to build your team up. If you go with starting with it, you're away with England, for example, here, and your team won't be picking players that you want to develop, if you know what I mean. So, without further ado, we will start the game. We will continue. So this is very important. This is pretty much, you got to take your time through this section. Don't rush it. Look over all your options that you need to do. So, budget remaining is pretty low. Squad size of 22 is reasonable. Overseas player, they've got 1. No reserve overseas player. Now, we'll look at the reserve overseas player shortly. In a 20 over only, they've got no players there. We're not going to sign any 20 over players this season. But your budget, in this scenario, lower your physio. You've got a big enough squad size anyway. Like, I think the physios have wasted time. Season 1. Like, you implement it later on. When you get a smaller sort of squad. You can rest and rotate players, and if you do it correctly, you're not going to get too many injuries. Now, I would invest in the youth here, and I'd keep it like that. So, reason why is you want to bring through good youth players and just try and get your team up and running pretty quickly. So, we've gone over the budget. So, now what I'll do is look over the squad and just identify where we're strong at in this areas. And you can probably see already there's a lot of experience here. A lot of guys, a couple guys in their 30s. Played over 200 games. Ackerman's reasonably experienced as well, still very young. So they look like a very good first-class batting side. And you'd scroll through, very experienced all-rounder. Lily looks okay. An area that I can see them needing improvement on, maybe get another all-rounder down the line. The bowling attack, Muhammad Abbas, so going back to that reserve overseas player option now, you can spend up to 69,500 players, and as long as that player is not from Pakistan, you can sign a player up. And Muhammad Abbas would probably play for Pakistan as well, so an overseas player in reserve could be quite useful. The bowling attack looks like an area of something we have to work on. Like, obviously, he's not going to be there that often. So take him out. You'd have Klein as one of your bowlers. You'd probably have Wright as another one. There's a few weaknesses there. Griffiths looks okay. Probably got enough bowling depth, but you want to obviously improve in that area. Players that haven't played and that are in the squad straight away, for example, Funnel and Swindles, they're probably not going to develop to be good players. I would see their contracts out without developing them too much. And yeah, move them on unless you guys want to experience another way and see if you can build them into something. But personally, I'd move them on because of what I've just mentioned. So looking at the squad, just you go through your 1 day stuff and just see how we stack up, and like yeah, and then you'd make your decisions of what you want to improve on. So after all that, what I'd do next is see if there's any good youth players available. Usually there's very rarely good players season 1. Like, you usually have to wait a season or 2 before some really good players come through. But we'll go through this for example. So this guy looks promising, 17-year-old Norton. So I would scroll across. His ODI form's pretty good. Average of 53, and so we're at 20 overs. So that's a player you'd probably identify. You look at his batting form. As you can see, he looks alright. He's got a 50 in one-day cricket. He's got a 100 in first class. So that guy looks like he could be someone I would definitely sign. But you definitely do what I just said. You look across all formats to see if they're a reasonable player for you. So just scrolling down the list, there's quite a few players on this list actually. This guy looks pretty decent as well, Timothy Woodward. So you'd look at his batting form and immediately 2 first-class hundreds. He looks like he's okay at one-day cricket as well. You'd also look at the bowling form to see if they can bowl part-time as well. And you'd also look at their personal as well. If you want to play a style where you're very aggressive and want to win games, you'd obviously go for aggressive to very aggressive batsmen that score relatively quickly. Like, you can play different ways. Like, you can have batsmen that are defensive style and they're more suited to the longer formats, but this guy looks like he has the goods. And you can obviously improve the slight preferences and make them strong as well. This guy would be probably someone I'd recommend as well. You want guys with characteristics like that. The more the merrier. I just wish there were bowling preferences as well. Just for certain things that you can work on for your bowlers. But yeah, so those are 2 players you'd potentially look at. Obviously, in this scenario, you'd only be able to sign one player from here. So you'd have to really think what would be the most benefit to your team. Personally, at the moment, I'd go for the more experienced guy, the 21-year-old Woodward, just because he's played more games as well, second 11 games. So you scroll through to see if there's anything else there. You look at the bowling averages. One thing I recommend as well is don't sign players under 24,000 or less. They will turn out to be alright cricketers, the occasional one, but the ones that request more salary, in my opinion, tend to develop into reasonably good cricketers. Like, some of them do go on to England from there, and yeah, that's what I'd highly recommend signing. Like, say for example, this player here, 20,000 salary at 18 years of age. His batting average is pretty terrible across all formats. And he's requesting a low salary. So the more salary they request, obviously their stats are a lot better. So we'll go to the Norton guy. Like, he's requesting 29,500, but look at his averages. That's why he's demanding that sort of salary. So you'd take your time and identify players, and say for example would sign Woodward, because you'd look at his personnel as well. He's got one less trait than Timothy Woodward, and that would be my decision there. So we'll pretend we've signed him, for example. That's what I'd identify. Domestic players season 1. I probably would quickly go through this list, and you may pick up a player. Say for example there are no good youth players available from the examples I just mentioned. You'd look through and see what your team needed, and you'd just go through the same drill again. You look at the one-day form, you look at the 20 over stuff, and just little details like current year obviously won't work. You look at their last year form to see if they warrant selection, and you may pick up the older player from here. Like, you generally look last year +1 as well to see how they went. Like, some guys have played enough cricket to probably have a look at, but I would recommend probably signing no players from here, for example. So we've made our offer. You usually get the player that you want, for example. So we got Woodward, like youth player, for example. No one really competes for them. Like, you may see an offer for someone out of the blue here. After a round or 2 as well, just keep an eye out as well. Like, sometimes players pop out of here out of the blue. Definitely sign them. Just one thing before we start too. One of the things that are very hard to produce are all-rounders in this game. So what I tend to do with my all-rounders now is, say for example, if they've got a better batting average than bowling average, I'd just work on their batting and just use them as a part-time bowling option, vice versa. If they've got bowler, work on their bowling stats over their batting. And yeah, that's how I'd work it. But let's get moving forward here. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that part anyway. But yeah, just make sure you're taking your time going through, see what traits they have, see what their bowling averages and that are for the second 11 stuff, and look at their batting and bowling form. You've got to really look at that in depth. So you'd go to your coach and physio now, and this is what I'd highly recommend. Anything over 3-star and above, work on, if they're a young player, work on their batting or bowling technique and try and improve them there. 2-star or lower, I would go for batting or bowling practice to get them some form, so they can return to technique, and always rotate it round. So we'll go with our player that we did sign up. So he needed to work on either pace bowling, back foot, or leg side. So would work on his fast bowling there because he's in good form. Do we have any other players as well? You can change their style as well. Personal, average aggression, very defensive style. Here we go. This is a player that I want. So, say for example, he was an up-and-coming youth player, or a player you wanted to improve on. Aggressive shots. He will go from a very defensive technique to a defensive technique, then eventually to an average aggression technique. The only thing is you've got to stick at it. You've got to stick at it for 4 to 5, 6 seasons to probably get that sort of result. It's just random where it happens. But if you stick at it, it should generally improve. And another thing too is obviously don't always work on one thing. If it's not working, like if he's not really improving in that stat, go to another stat. Like improve his pace bowling preference, back foot preference. It makes them better cricketers. It makes you a more competitive side. For example, the bowlers, how I manage the bowlers is very interesting. So you'd look at economy rates, like anything over 3.5 runs per over. I tend to have them on an aggressive technique if they're up and coming player. Anything under 3 runs per over is really just, say for example, you'd go with a defensive bowling technique. So they tend to tie and end up, and they just force batsmen into mistakes. Like the aggressive bowler goes searching for wickets, and that's how I tend to play there. Like one thing I would highly not recommend is not the right arm medium and the left arm medium bowlers that tend to struggle on this game for some reason. Look for right arm medium fast, left arm medium fast. You know the drill, up to fast bowlers, etc. I find also leg spinners are pretty good if you're either aggressive or defensive bowling technique with them. And the same rule applies as well. Like you want bowling technique implied when 3-star or more. 2-star or under, go with bowling practice because you obviously want them to stay in form and in your team. And generally you want to be playing guys so they do improve at the level as well. It's a very in-depth game. You're pretty much... I'm trying to cover as much base as possible. I'm probably going to miss a lot of things as well. Like in the comment section, just comment on what you would do in certain scenarios as well. But yeah, this team would do probably all right season 1. I would say. We'll quickly get into a game here as well, just to show you how you form your team. Obviously, season 1, you'd want to develop your youth player that you signed, or 2 players, whatever we signed. I'd also, since Woodward's pretty much just into the team, I'd put generally middle order batsmen at 5 or 6, and especially in a first class game as well. Just because it gives them a bit of time to relax, and the bowling's not as fresh either. It just gives them time to get settled at the level, etc. And just have experienced guys around them. Like, obviously, you'd have a good mix of youth and experience. So, if you keep picking the same team as well, you're not going to get that experience either. So, just pick the right team for the situation, and you go from there. Like, for example, I would probably go with that team, say for game 1, And yeah, see what happened. I probably wouldn't pick Dexter as well, but we just don't have the depth in the all-rounder department to hopefully pick up an all-rounder, say, for example, next season. But you'd quickly play a match. In England, you get the choice of bowling or going with heads and tails. And this pitch has probably got a wee bit of turn. You'd probably want to bat first on this pitch. And just take note, it's overcast conditions. You want to take attention to this little detail here. Light meter's good. So it's going to offer a bit of seam movement early on. If it was out and out sunny with no cloud cover, you'd probably bat first in this condition. But you'd almost gamble and bowl first in this scenario. So you'd bowl. I want to bowl first anyway here. I want to show you just little things here. So when you're coming in to your innings, you'd look at their strengths. Like this guy's got a strong front foot preference and a slight offside preference. So you'd set your field to that, and say for example for Finch, I'd go back of a length and force him to play something that he's not as strong as, and you'd set a field accordingly. Like you can click on the field and there's batting preferences there anyway. So this guy's defensive. And yeah, like another thing too, just to make it a bit easier, you kind of make up a few fields like that are like suited to this game. So you're not here for 20-30 minutes trying to set heaps of fields, and you make sure you save them as well. Like this bar here, I don't tend to change as well. That just changes the field slightly. Like you don't need to worry about that bar too much. Also, you can swap to go around the wicket depending on things. Like you got to try different things in this game. If a team gets on top of you, you got to think of how to get wickets effectively, and it is pretty hard work. For example, so we'll just save and exit here, just for example, because I'm not going to play a game. Obviously, it's just a tutorial video. So we'll just load up one of our recent completed Northamptonshire career mode. Let's go over to other little details. How team details. So here's my team here, for example, that I've built over 17 seasons. Like obviously you can see my first class is my strengths. We've got decent one-day batsmen and 20 over batsmen. Just identifying the right guys and having a good consistent team. Pretty much there is 4 different pitches you can go with. You can go with a batsman's pitch, which I recommend, for example, if your batting's one of your weak points in your team, like across any format, when you're at home, you just would do that naturally. Pretty much if you got a good bowling attack, like have really good seamers, you'd go for a seaming wicket. And just another little things to note as well, like you want to play certain teams. Like say for example you got a seaming wicket at home, you want guys that are very good against fast bowling. You don't want too many spin specialists in your team, Russ. You're going to get a wee bit exposed there. Like, just little things like that. You want to play guys suited to the conditions. Like, spinning wickets, you want guys, obviously, that can handle spin bowling and that well. There's a lot that goes into it. Like, obviously, you're not going to get your ideal sort of, like, 11. You're going to have a few guys that are going to have a few chinks in their game. But as long as they can play spin bowling reasonably well, or fast bowling, and generally average over a certain criteria, like over 40 in first class cricket's generally acceptable, over 30 in one day cricket's probably acceptable, and over 25 and 20 over cricket's generally pretty good. Trying to think what other little details need to go through, but yeah, just generally mix up your bowling and batting technique. I'll see if the Tasmanian Hobart careers, yeah, this will be a lot better. Don't worry about this. This is pretty much down the line. Right, I'm just going to quickly go into depth on another couple of things as well. Just look at their form for here as well, like for team, how they've performed in previous teams before you make decisions on, say, for example, signing players and that. Like Daniel Bell Drummond's, for example, played for 3 different teams. And you'd go through all this, and yeah, that's another thing I'd definitely be looking at. Like, pretty much just check every couple games just to see how form and that's been going. Like, at the start of any season as well, just check through all your players to see if they've played for any other teams. Like, it's very useful if a new player has been picked up and played in, like, the Pakistan League or the Indian League. It all adds up. It gives them very much needed match experience and whatnot. As mentioned, there's the 4 pitches. Make sure you do that as well. Like, you don't want a random pitch and all of a sudden, say for example, you're weak in the batting and you've been throwing up a seamer or a spinner's pitch, and the team that you're going up against has strengths in that area. Like, I find Cricket Captain as well will adjust the team that you're going up against team to the pitch as well. But yeah, say for example you're playing Lancashire, you'd look at their team as well. Like, if they've got certain weaknesses, you try and exploit those weaknesses. Say if they haven't got a very good spin bowler in their setup, which in this case they may not have a good spin bowler. Yeah, and you think you can do alright, set a spinning wicket, and if you've got a couple good spinners, you can really exploit them in that area as well, because the pitch is obviously going to deteriorate and they're not going to have those sort of bowlers. Well, there's a lot to it. So you look at your fixtures and results as well. You pretty much the county season is always usually the same as it runs through like that. And you plan accordingly. Like, you're obviously going to have players away at different times. Obviously, Indian 20 over league, there may be another league in that setup. People playing international cricket. Just other little things. Check your finances, just to see how much money possibly could be freed up for the next season. But yeah, there's obviously partnerships and records that you can look at as well. In general, hopefully I've covered a lot of ground there. Hopefully people enjoy the guide, and hopefully enjoy Cricket Captain, especially hopefully in the future they continue to produce decent Cricket Captain games. Hopefully they make improvements like on the animation, like the stuff and that needs to be improved on in this game. But yeah, we'll catch you again for another video. Hopefully enjoy the upcoming Australian career mode.